People don't hate you for who you are, they hate you for what you reveal about them. Listen very carefully, because what you're about to hear is the part most people avoid their entire lives. The problem you carry isn't weakness. It isn't ignorance. It isn't even innocence. It's something far more dangerous, something far more costly, something that has already shaped your entire life without you realizing it. You still believe people genuinely like you. You convince yourself their smiles are honest, their compliments sincere, their warmth real. But Niccolò Machiavelli would smile at such a belief, because he understood a truth most men run from. Affection is a performance. Love is a costume. And hatred is the only emotion that never lies. Most people move through life with a soft illusion that the world is kinder than it is, that those around them wish them well, that goodwill is human nature. But behind the politeness, behind the courtesy, behind the gentle faces you trust, something else waits. Not affection, not loyalty, not genuine respect. What grows in their silence is resentment, quiet, patient, and waiting for the perfect moment to sharpen itself. Machiavelli warned us long ago, men love at their convenience, but they hate with consistency. So today, we remove the illusions. We strip away the comfortable lies. We face the truth most people never confront. Why do they secretly hate you? Because they do. And deep down, you felt it. Stay with me, because this is the part nobody ever explains, yet everyone experiences. Here is the truth Machiavelli carved into history. You are not loved for who you are. You are tolerated for what you give, and hated the moment you rise above the people who pretend to applaud you. Because the moment you rise, you expose what they've spent their entire lives hiding. Listen closely, because you've seen this happen. Imagine this. You walk into a room where everyone smiles at you, nods politely, and greets you as if your presence brightens the atmosphere. Their faces soften, their voices warm, their words drip with kindness. But beneath those smiles, something else watches you. It is not affection, it is not admiration, it is not loyalty. It is self-interest, the only true engine of human behavior. Men and women dress themselves in manners, courtesy, and polished social grace. But strip the performance away, and at the very core you will always find the same primitive question. What do you give me? It is the question behind every handshake, the calculation behind every compliment, the silent motive behind every gesture of warmth. People do not move because of devotion. They move because of desire. And the moment your presence threatens their desires, their comfort, their image, their status, hatred awakens. Here's the part that stings. Your success does not inspire them. It exposes them. When you rise, you force others to confront their stagnation. When you grow stronger, you highlight their weakness. When you become confident, you magnify their insecurity. When you achieve what they couldn't, you humiliate them simply by existing. And understand this clearly, they will never forgive you for that. So they hide their resentment behind applause. They bury their envy behind encouragement. Every clap is hollow. Every praise is tinted with bitterness. They may smile at your victory, but inside they whisper, "Why him? Why her? Why not me?" Your strength is not only your advantage, it is their humiliation. Every step you take upward pushes them deeper into the shadows they've been trying to escape. Every improvement you make shines a harsher light on everything they refuse to fix. This is why their compliments feel thin. This is why their support feels shallow. This is why their approval never feels clean. Because beneath all of it lies a truth you must never forget. People don't resent your flaws, they resent your potential. Here's the truth most people never admit. If you truly want to understand why people secretly hate you, begin with a truth older than civilization itself. Human beings cannot stop comparing themselves to others. It is instinct. It is reflex. It is automatic. Men measure their worth not by who they are, but by how they stand beside you. And the moment you rise even an inch above them, envy sinks its teeth into their hearts. Because here is the law that has destroyed kings, betrayed prophets, and toppled empires. The stronger you become, the smaller they feel. Your very existence becomes an insult. Not because you harmed them, not because you mocked them, not because you sought to dominate them, but because your presence forces them to confront everything they failed to become. Watch how this plays out in real life. Your success opens the wounds they tried to bury. Your discipline exposes their indulgence. Your confidence highlights their hesitation. Your ambition tears the excuses they hide behind. You don't have to brag, you don't have to flaunt, you don't have to say a single boastful word. Simply by being excellent, you offend them. This is why the room feels colder as you ascend. Why the tone shifts slightly when you walk in. Why people you helped suddenly keep their distance. They aren't uncomfortable because you did something wrong. They're uncomfortable because you outgrew the version of you they could tolerate. Nothing breeds hatred faster than a wounded ego. So when they resent you, do not take it personally. It has nothing to do with who you are and everything to do with what you awaken inside them. You are the mirror in which they see their failures, and people do not forgive mirrors. If you think you're safe, history says otherwise. Look to history, the one teacher that never lies. Every era, every empire, every kingdom reveals the same pattern. The higher a man rises, the deeper the resentment that coils around him. Consider Julius Caesar. He returned to Rome crowned in victory, beloved by the masses, unstoppable in brilliance. The people cheered, but the Senate seethed. They watched his influence grow beyond their reach, and hatred fermented in their hearts like poison sealed in a jar. They cloaked their envy in the language of justice. But it was humiliation, not righteousness, that sharpened their daggers. Consider Alexander the Great, a man who conquered worlds before most men conquer themselves. His rivals praised him in public, yet cursed his existence in private. His greatness did not inspire them. It diminished them. Every victory he achieved fractured their pride. Every milestone he surpassed deepened their resentment. The higher he climbed, the more violently they envied the altitude he reached. And what of the prophets? The men of virtue, clarity, and uncompromising moral vision. They were not hated because they were cruel. They were hated because their goodness exposed the corruption of others. Their purity illuminated the darkness that men tried to hide. And nothing enrages the corrupt more than a light bright enough to reveal their flaws. Ask yourself something hard. If Caesar was hated for his power, if Alexander was hated for his brilliance, if prophets were hated for their purity, what makes you believe you will be spared? Hatred does not wait for villains. Hatred does not require wrongdoing. Hatred is simply the tax the world demands from anyone who chooses to rise. The greatest men in history carried enemies like a shadow, not because they were wicked, but because they mattered. So ask yourself, if the extraordinary were despised, if the mighty were feared, if even the virtuous were attacked, why should your path be any different? History has no exceptions. Here's the part most people never see coming. If you believe hatred only comes from enemies, you haven't lived long enough, because the deepest wounds are carved by familiar hands. Listen closely. The people who smile at you, the ones who applaud you, the ones who call you friend, are often the ones you must watch the closest. Enemies announce themselves, friends do not. A stranger has no reason to envy you, but a friend does. He witnesses your victories up close. He feels every comparison sharpen inside him. He sees your progress in real time, and every step you take forward feels like a step he failed to take himself. And nothing breeds resentment faster than proximity. Pay attention to this, it's subtle but deadly. This is why compliments are dangerous. They are rarely pure. A compliment is often a shield, a polished mask hiding the bitterness beneath. Flattery is not admiration. Flattery is permission, permission to stay close, permission to observe, permission to wait for the moment your guard drops. People flatter those they secretly envy because praise grants access, and access creates advantage. Every smile they give you is a step closer to your blind spot. Now here's where the psychology gets ruthless. Friendship, for many, is ambition disguised as devotion. Men stand beside you not because of loyalty, but because standing beside you is useful. They admire your success, but what they really admire is what they can take from it. They call you brother, but inside they compete with you. They say, "I've got your back," but what they truly mean is, "I'm close enough to reach your throat." Understand this truth. The most dangerous people are never the ones who oppose you. They are the ones who pretend to support you. A stranger might argue with you. A rival might confront you. But only a friend has the trust, the access, and the closeness to wound you in the place you are most unprotected. Here's the brutal reality. Betrayal does not come from the distant. Betrayal does not come from the outsider. Betrayal does not come from those who barely know your name. Betrayal is born in the arms of friendship. It grows in the warmth of loyalty. It waits behind reassuring smiles, and it strikes the moment the mask becomes too heavy to hold. So when you rise, remember this: it won't be your enemies who destroy you. It will be the ones closest to you, because only proximity grants the privilege of betrayal. Power is not strange, it is revealing. To the one who holds it, power feels natural, earned, deserved. But to everyone else, it burns like a light bright enough to expose their shadows. Listen carefully. When you rise, you don't just climb above others, you reveal what they are not. Your confidence humiliates the insecure. Your authority suffocates the powerless. Your achievements remind others of their failures. Your strength makes the weak feel exposed. This is why admiration is never pure. People may clap for you, may praise you, may speak of your success with awe, but beneath every polite word simmers the same bitter emotion. Jealousy, they may call you inspiring, but what they mean is, "I wish I were you." They may call you impressive, but what they feel is, "Why not me instead?" Even their praise is poisoned, because praise is the mask envy wears before it learns how to strike. And it gets worse the higher you rise. Success does not create supporters. It creates spectators. And spectators become critics the moment they feel overshadowed. Machiavelli warned that generosity is never enough because generous men are punished for both giving and not giving. Give a man more than he deserves, and he resents you for not giving even more. Give him less than another, and he curses you for the comparison. Give him nothing, and he despises you for ignoring him. In power, there is no act that satisfies everyone. Your intentions are irrelevant. Your kindness is irrelevant. Your fairness is irrelevant. Because resentment does not grow from injustice. It grows from inequality, real or imagined. The moment you hold anything others do not, wealth, talent, beauty, opportunity, influence, you plant the seed of hatred in their hearts. And once planted, it grows silently, stubbornly, endlessly, like a vine searching for something to strangle. You are not resented because you are cruel. You are resented because you have risen. And every rise expands the number of enemies hiding behind claps, smiles, and polite admiration, waiting for your crown to slip, so they can celebrate your fall as if it were their own triumph. Now we arrive at a question that has shaped empires, destroyed dynasties, and determined the fate of every man who ever dared to hold power. Is it better to be loved or to be feared? Listen carefully, because this is where most people fail. Machiavelli did not pose this question to inspire debate. He posed it to expose a truth that men avoid until it ruins them. Love is temporary. Fear endures. Love depends on conditions, on benefits, on comfort, on what you provide. It lives in shallow soil, the soil of gratitude. And gratitude, as history proves, dies the moment it is no longer fed. Men love you when you satisfy them. Men love you when you give them what they desire. Men love you when your presence fills their needs. But the moment you remove those gifts, deny one favor, delay one comfort, fail one expectation, love evaporates like mist in sunlight. Fear, however, fear roots itself deep. It does not fade with time. It does not depend on generosity. It does not require constant maintenance. A man who fears you may not adore you, but he obeys. He measures his words. He calculates his actions. He hesitates before crossing you. Fear holds loyalty in the places where love collapses. Machiavelli warned of this too. Cruelty without wisdom breeds rebellion. A ruler who inspires only terror sharpens daggers in his own shadows. A leader who wields fear recklessly invites revenge. A man who demands obedience without earning respect creates enemies who wait for the moment his grip slips. So what is the real answer? Not love, not cruelty. Balance. Fear tempered with respect. Firmness softened with fairness. Power restrained by discipline. A wise man does not seek affection, he seeks stability. He does not chase smiles, he sets boundaries. To be feared without being hated, to be respected without needing to be adored, this is the art of power. Love may win you moments, but fear wins the moments that determine everything. And in a world governed by ambition, envy, and self-interest, obedience is far more reliable than affection. Now listen closely, because this part applies directly to your life. You may still believe that if you live gently, speak softly, and tread carefully, you will escape resentment. But this is the lie that keeps the majority powerless. Hear this clearly: goodness will not save you. You can be honest, fair, generous, pure in intention, and people will still despise you. Why? Because your virtue exposes their corruption. Your integrity condemns their dishonesty. Your discipline shames their laziness. Avoiding conflict doesn't protect you either. Silence will not save you. You can avoid confrontation, withdraw from conflict, keep to yourself, and still they will invent reasons to dislike you. Your quietness will be called arrogance. Your humility will be labeled deceit. Your distance will be framed as danger. Humility will not protect you. The world does not reward those who bow, it steps over them. Even when you shrink yourself, your presence threatens those who cannot control you. Neutrality is no refuge. To stand in the middle is to anger both sides. Men resent those who refuse to choose, those who cannot be claimed, those who seem untouchable. No matter what you do, speak or stay silent, rise or withdraw, succeed or disappear, hatred finds you because hatred is not a reaction to your actions. Hatred comes because you matter. Your presence shifts the hierarchy. Your potential challenges their pride. Your ambition threatens their excuses. Here's the truth most people never have the courage to accept. Enemies are not a sign of failure. Enemies are a sign of visibility. Only the ignored escape resentment. Only the insignificant avoid envy. Only those who do nothing, become nothing, threaten nothing, walk through life without opposition. But that is not you. If you have enemies, it means people have noticed you. If people resent you, it means you carry weight. If your name stirs bitterness, it means you are climbing higher than they ever expected you to rise. Enemies equals visibility. Enemies equals influence. Enemies equals proof of significance. Hatred is the shadow cast by greatness. And if that shadow follows you, it means you are walking toward the throne, not away from it. Now the truth stands in front of you, stripped of every illusion. Hatred is not a curse. Hatred is confirmation. Confirmation that you are rising. Confirmation that you matter. Confirmation that your existence disturbs the comfort of others. Listen closely. This is the part most people never learn. You are not hated because you are wicked. You are not hated because you are wrong. You are hated because your presence shifts the balance that keeps others comfortable. You refuse to stay small. You refuse to remain predictable. You refuse to live below the expectations others quietly set for you. Every glare, every whisper, every silent resentment aimed at you is the world quietly admitting, you matter more than we wish you did. The powerless are ignored. The average are tolerated. The invisible are left in peace. But the moment you stand out, the moment your voice carries, your actions echo, your ambition moves, you summon enemies the way a flame summons shadows. Do not fear this, do not flee from it, and above all, do not apologize for it. Because here is the final evolution of power. You cannot escape hatred, but you can master it. Hatred is simply the tax the world demands from those who rise. It is the toll paid by the powerful, the proof paid by the significant, the shadow cast by those who refuse a small life. Accept it, embrace it, use it. For hatred focuses you. Hatred clarifies who you are. Hatred reveals who you can trust, who you must avoid, and who you must surpass. Let them resent you. Let them whisper. Let them plot. Their hatred is nothing more than background noise in the soundtrack of your ascent. And here is the final Machiavellian lesson. In the end, it is not love that secures your legacy. It is not approval that strengthens your position. It is not affection that protects your throne. It is the resilience to walk through hatred without bending. It is the strength to rise despite being despised. It is the will to remain standing when they quietly hope you fall. Machiavelli warned, "A man who seeks to please all ends up ruled by all." So here is the final law of power, the one men resist, the one history repeats, the one the world hides behind politeness. Do not seek to be loved. Seek to be undeniable.